The imperfect subjunctive in French is the literary past form of the subjunctive mood. It shows the same uncertainty and possibility as the other subjunctives, but it refers to the past and is mainly found in formal writing, literature, and historical texts. In spoken French, people almost never use it. Instead, they use the present or past subjunctive, but in written French, like novels, essays, or plays, it's very common. In my previous videos, I gave a full explanation of what makes the mood, so I highly recommend watching them before continuing with this lesson, as they will help you understand all subjunctives in French. So, we don't need to explain the mood in this video, because we should already know what it is and what makes it. We can immediately start with the formation of the imperfect subjunctive. Considering that it's almost never used in speech, this video will have less examples because it's more practical to know the present and past subjunctives. If you're interested in French literature, previous French videos can show you different tenses that are used in such writing. So, the imperfect subjunctive is made from the third-person singular subject of the simple past. Once again, I've already made a video about this, so knowing past simple conjugations is useful here. To conjugate verbs in this mood, we take the stem from the third-person singular of the simple past, drop the final t, if there is one, and add the following imperfect subjunctive endings. This is what they look like, and they will be placed with the imperfect subjunctive stem. Let's see some conjugations using verbs of all types, like parler, to speak. To conjugate it in the imperfect subjunctive, we take its stem from the third-person singular form of the simple past, place it across all subjects, and add the imperfect subjunctive endings that match every pronoun. Que je parlasse, que tu parlasses, qu'il, il, parla, que nous parlassions, que vous parlassiez, qu'il, il parlasse. An example can be, il fallait qu'elle parlât avant la nuit. Some conjugations can sound the same, so say them with the subject and que to tell the difference. The same thing applies to any other verb, like finir, to finish. To conjugate this verb, take its stem from the simple past, third-person singular, drop the final t, place the stem in all subjects, and add the imperfect subjunctive endings. Que je finisse, que tu finisses, qu'il, il, on finit, que nous finissions, que vous finissiez, qu'il, il finisse. Coincidentally, this form is the same as the present subjunctive, except for il, on, so the time difference is shown in context. An example is J'ai douté qu'il finisse son travail. Now, let's see the verb vendre, to sell. To conjugate this verb, take its stem from the simple past, remove t, and add the imperfect subjunctive endings. Que je vendise, que tu vendises, qu'il, il, on vendit, que nous vendissions, que vous vendissiez, qu'il, il vendise. In general, this is the pattern for regular verbs in the imperfect subjunctive, but we can also see how irregular verbs get conjugated. Many of these forms are irregular because they follow simple past tense, which are often irregular. Here, it's not necessary to list them all, because you will not be seeing this mood all the time, let alone speaking it. Instead, we can just cover the most common irregular verbs in this mood, which always follow the same endings with irregular stems. Some examples are Je ne croyais pas qu'il fût si tard. Il fallait qu'il vent avant la tempête. Moreover, the mood is used in one form most of the time, which is inside dependent clauses after a verb that activates the subjunctive, but referring to the past time, especially when the main verb is in a past tense. Because this mood is very rare, in modern French, many writers often replace the imperfect subjunctive with the past or present, depending on context. Still, the key takeaway is that the endings are always basic and that the stems are completely based on the simple past, which can be irregular sometimes. Once you know the simple past forms, this mood will be easier to recognize, but again, in the context of French literature and writing. Overall, this is how the imperfect subjunctive fully works in French, and in the next video, the mood will finally be finished with the pluperfect subjunctive.